Hi guys, I'm Captain Ezz from porkchopsandwiches.net, here to bring a Redstone tutorial. Today we have part 8 of the series, where we look at Redstone logic gates part 4. So without further ado, let's get started. So today we're going to be looking at the RS NOR latch and the T flip-flop. Now these are also known as the 1-bit memory latches and locking circuits. So what I'll do is I'll build you the RS NOR latch first, and then explain how it all works. So an RS NOR latch is pretty much two inverters facing into each other, just like this, and that's all it is. So it's a lot more basic than the XOR gate I showed you guys last week, but it's really handy when you're trying to hold inputs on. So, as you know, a switch here, like so, is a temporary input, so it will only power for a certain amount of time. If we put a piston down here, some power, it will only power as long as that's sustained in, which is about a second. Now with a locking circuit, however, if we just reset it, let's put a piston here. As you can see, this does nothing, however. If we put on this side, over here, we'll reset it. As you can see, once I press that button, which is now popped out again, it's locked on. So, how this works is that when I provide power to this block from over here, for instance, this powers this inverter, turning it off, allowing this line to turn off, allowing this inverter to turn on, locking this circuit on because it stops the inverter turning off. So if I reset it again, sorry, wrong side, yeah, it locks on, back over, locks over. Now it's a really great system. You can draw power from any side, over here, from here, anywhere you want to draw power from, you can. If you want to draw from the power from the block, as you know, just put a, let me just get rid of the button, power from out here, you can, because of the repeater interaction between blocks. Now, this is a bit big of a system, so what I'll do is I'll kind of drop it down in size for you guys. So as you can see, it's the same basic system, but this one just uses repeaters. Now you can use wires here instead, on one side, but not both, because then they start interacting with each other. So what I do is I use two repeaters, just facing each other like that, and now it's the exact same system. So as you can see, press this button, it flicks over, go over here, it flicks over. Now one thing you have to be careful of, if one of these is like your trigger line here, for instance, and the other one is a reset line, then you need to be careful, because if you have a line coming out like this, and you power it on, this will stay powered because of the block interaction. So what you need to do is you need to face a repeater in towards the block to stop that from happening. Now that's because power only travels one way through repeaters, like I told you guys earlier, in the earlier tutorials. So you just do like that, and then you can draw power from any side. Now, the RS NOR latch is great, but this uses two buttons to do things. What I really want to do is have one with a single button, and that's where the T flip-flop comes into hand. So let's go into the next room and I'll show you how to build that. Now the T flip-flop does actually use a piston, a sticky piston, and some weird ways that it works, which I'll explain as I build it, if I get this right. I've had some issues trying to build this in the proper way and correctly, because it's a bit weird, but actually really simple once you understand how it works. Alright, hold on. I'll get this time. Get two things like that. Y going in. So I can't explain it more about it until I've built it. I mean, normally I'm kind of talking while I build things, but today I really can't, because it's just, I don't know what else to say about it. And there we go. So as you can see, it's a bit weird, but it's really simple. So this is the input line over here, the one button. Now you can have it straight on the block, or out like this, on the button, which I'll do. So as you can see, if I press this button, it switches the lanes. And if I do it again, it switches over. But why isn't this block being pulled out by this piston? Because a sticky piston is meant to pull back the block that it's on. However, if it's just power with a single tick of power, it won't pull back. So if I do it again, it will pull back, because it had nothing to push out. So it's a bit weird. But what's the rest of this circuitry? So as you can see, this inverter will automatically turn off, allowing this inverter to turn on, powering up this piston. But then straight after, pretty much, this repeater will power and turn off this torch again, even after this button over here has stopped being powered. So that switches this around. Now basically these two here are just powering through, allowing energy to pass through. And this here is to stop these two lines interacting, pretty much. So I can just put one here, something here, and as you can see, it just toggles between them. So this is really handy when you've got like a light switch where you want to turn it on and off, or things like that. Now there's multiple ways of doing this design. There's a vertical way even. So a really great place to look at those is the Redstone Wiki, so Minecraft Wiki with the Redstone page, which I have a link in the description for you guys. So basically, what I'll do is with one of these systems, the RS LATCH actually, I'm going to build one of the most Googled contraptions for Redstone, which is the combination lock. So using this, I'll explain it as I go. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how that works. So until then, I'm Cpt Ezz from porkchopsandwiches.net, and I'll see you next time.